In the last episode, I introduced a simple but powerful idea. Affirmations work when they are actions, not declarations. This might feel like a modern insight, maybe a correction to the self-help industry's approach. But this is far from new. Ancient philosophers understood this truth deeply over 2,000 years ago. They knew that who you become isn't determined by what you say about yourself, but by what you demonstrate through your choices. Today, we're going to explore why they believe this and what it means for your practice. Hey there, it's me, Core, and you're listening to Exercising Self-Control from Fitness to Flourishing. Socrates, credited as the first moral philosopher and a founder of Western philosophy, taught that self-knowledge comes not from what you say about yourself, but from what you do. Xenophon, a student of Socrates, wrote that Socrates emphasized virtue is demonstrated through practice, not through theory. Self-knowledge isn't intellectual, it's experiential. You discover who you are by acting, not by thinking. As Socrates said, begin quote, "The life which is not examined is not worth living," end quote. But that examination happens as a result of action. You examine the life you are actually living, not the life you say you're going to live. Aristotle, who came along shortly after Socrates, took this further. He taught that virtue is developed through repeated action, not through thought or declaration. You don't become responsible by thinking about responsibility. You become responsible by acting responsibly, again and again, until responsibility becomes who you are. He stated, begin quote, "Virtues are formed in man by his doing the actions," end quote. He also emphasized the role of habit in moral excellence, saying, begin quote, "Moral excellence comes about as a result of habit. We become just by doing just acts, temperate by doing temperate acts, brave by doing brave acts," end quote. Aristotle believed that though we may have the capacity for virtues, they are developed by habit. This is habituation. Character is built, not simply assumed or discovered. The Stoics went deeper. Epictetus, one of the greatest Stoic teachers, taught that proeresis, our faculty of choice, is the only thing truly in our power. Virtue is demonstrated through how we use this faculty, not through what happens to us. The Stoics understood that we control our choices, not the outcomes of our choices. This is why action is the only honest affirmation. When you act, you are exercising your proeresis, your faculty of choice. You're demonstrating what's actually in your power. Epictetus put this plainly. Begin quote, "Every habit and every faculty is confirmed and strengthened by the corresponding acts." So generally, if you wish to acquire a habit for anything, do the thing. If you do not wish to acquire the habit, abstain from doing it and acquire the habit of doing something else instead. For habits and faculties are bound to be affected by the corresponding actions. They are either implanted, if they did not exist before, or strengthened and intensified if they were there already. End quote. This isn't ivory tower philosophy. It's how to develop what you need to best handle the urgencies of everyday life, a principled character. The ancient philosophers weren't theorizing. They were describing what's necessary. When you act, you're not just doing something at random. You're demonstrating who you are and establishing a pattern that shapes who you're becoming. Now, let's put this into practice. I want you to try something simple but powerful. Identify one virtue you want to embody. It could be courage, patience, honesty, discipline, or anything else. Write it down. Now name the specific action that proves this virtue is true for you in your life. If your virtue is patience, the action might be listening fully without interrupting. If it's courage, the action might be doing something you are afraid to do. If it's discipline, the action might be completing one workout when you don't feel like it. Choose one moment today to demonstrate this action. Just one will do. Afterward, reflect. What did it feel like? What did it prove about you? This is how character is built. Not through declarative affirmations, but through demonstration. The ancient philosophers understood this. A quote from Polish writer Witold Gombrowicz is so appropriate, I'll shoehorn it in here. Begin quote, "Do you want to know who you are? Don't ask. Act. Action will delineate and define you." End quote. This is the third time I've used this quote in this podcast. It's such a good quote. In the next episode, we'll explore the psychology behind why repeated action reshapes your self-concept. It's our modern validation of the ancient wisdom we've looked at today. So far, we've come away with this. The principle of action, as opposed to mere declaration, has stood the test of time for a reason. It's how you develop virtue. It's how you become who you want to be. It's how you can make affirmations work in your life, rationally, and as a matter of choice. That's it for today. Catch you next time.